I have over 250 hours in our creators, and yes, I absolutely love this game. As you guys can see right here, I am max level. I've completed some of the toughest challenges in the game, but along the way, I've also made some mistakes. And in this video, I'm going to give you guys some very important tips that will speed up your progression tremendously, and that way you guys can avoid some of the mistakes that I made. First thing I want to talk about is the settings. This is very important because this is going to change the combat flow and everything like that. So you are going to be way more effective no matter if you're fighting PvE enemies or PvP enemies. So for example, the crouch toggle button I have on my mouse. I have the Razer Death Adder. So on the left, it has 2 extra mouse buttons, and I use one of them for this. This helps me slide around like an absolute madman, and it makes it much more comfortable, much more easier. And since I do use slide all the time in combat, both in PvE and PvP, I absolutely love this. The second one is the dodge roll, and this one is also on my mouse button. And these two right here, these two alone are gonna be game changers. Okay, you got to learn how to slide and then dodge, and there's some advanced things you can do when it comes to movement. I have a full video about this. I'll drop it in the description as well. If you're interested, make sure to check it out, because some of those things you really do need to know in order to take your gameplay to the next level when it comes to PvP, for example. Okay, the dodge roll specifically can save your life, and having that really quick access to it, yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then I also have my shoulder swap on middle mouse button, which means that I'm clicking on my scroll button, right? And this is very comfortable as well when you need to do that quickly. Then I also have my weapons on mouse wheel up and mouse wheel down. This makes it very fast for me to swap around weapons, and it frees up some of the slots on the keyboard. And then I want to quickly talk about the audio. What you want to have is a night mode on. This has really made the game sound so much better for me in terms of like footsteps, where the players are, and so on. So if you're not using these settings, make sure to try them out. Trust me, you're going to fall in love. Now, this mistake right here still haunts me till this day because I didn't use this for a long time when I started the game. So for example, you see that my refiner is level 2. Now I want to get it to level 3, right? If I press this, you will see that there's some items that pop up. Let me move my camera here. For example, I still need the motor. But what you can do here is track resources. And all you got to do is press this right here. Now, when you're in the game, right? And let's take a look at our inventory here. Let's find the motor, and you'll see exactly what I mean. It has a I symbol on top of it, right? Now, when you're finding these items in the world, they're going to be marked up. That is huge, okay? Because a lot of the times you want to do something, but then you jump into the game, you're looking for some items, but you forget what it was. This will speed up your progression by so much I can't even explain. So do not sleep on this. Let's say you want to pick up items to craft a heavy shield. Boom, you track the resources just like that. And now every time you run into a power rod and the voltage converter, which by the way, I forget all the time, and I should have done this earlier, I'm not even gonna lie. Let's talk about workbenches. As you guys can see right here, I have my refiner at level 2. Now I want you guys to rush level 2 on refiner, because it is very important and it is a game changer. The refiner gives you the ability to craft some of the most important items for crafting other items, such as, for example, the advanced mechanical components, the normal mechanical components. Same goes for the electrical components and advanced electrical components as well. You can do the tracking resources here to not forget to pick up wires, for example. So use the previous tip for these items as well. But overall, the refiner is one of the most important ones on the workbench list. Same goes for the gear bench, which will give you the ability to craft a bunch of shields that you're gonna need a lot of the times. And by the way, I have another video where I break down the augments, explain everything, and also talk about how to manage your inventory. The link to that video is gonna be in the description. Make sure to watch that one as well, so that you don't have the fear of deleting the wrong items at all times. So refiner, gear bench, and then I would focus on the gunsmith as well, because you're gonna be getting a bunch of blueprints for some cool weapons. This next tip, I think, is one of the more important tips, and not a lot of people talk about this, and that is how to mentally prepare and enjoy extraction shooters. And this mindset is going to be especially helpful for new players to the genre. In extraction shooters, losing your gear is gonna happen, okay? It's just like that. That's the nature of the game. Sometimes something crazy will happen, an arc will pop out of nowhere, a rocketeer will one-tap you, or PvP players will camp you out. So one of the biggest things that I can tell you guys just to enjoy the game more is not to get attached to those items as if it was a normal looter shooter, because that honestly isn't the case, right? So once you get some cool items, don't necessarily sit on them for months. Use them, enjoy them for a few games, and then if you lose those items, fine, somebody else is gonna use it, and trust me when I tell you that loot is gonna come back to you. That's just how this game works, how extraction shooters in general work. It's the circle of life in this genre. So enjoy every item, use it, take it into the games, don't sit on it, and have fun. That's what it's all about. Get some loot upgraded, then bring it in, boom, 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 have a blast, and then get out. And then sometimes you're gonna get even more loot and more loot. And if you lose some, don't just crash out. You know what I mean? Yeah, sometimes we all get, upset a little bit, but don't let that ruin the overall experience. We have a saying in our group, which is the loot isn't really ours. We just borrow it from the top side. We have fun with it. We create some awesome memories, and then we give it back, and then the loot comes back again. So look at it that way. Trust me, that's going to help you out a lot. Gray weapons. This is very important as a new player as well, because like when you're jumping into the game, your first thought is, oh, dude, you know what? I can't wait to get all of these like yellow weapons and purple weapons, blue weapons. And listen, that makes sense. Some of these weapons are really, really good. But that said, a lot of the gray weapons are also very underrated. And as a new player, you're thinking they're not going to be good. Let me tell you, there are 2 weapons specifically, well, actually 3, but 2 that are very strong for PvP, and one of them is very strong for PvE as well. So let's start with Pharaoh. This is one of the best gray weapons you're going to use as a new player, guys. It really is. And the thing here is it is heavy ammo, which means that it's going to be destroying your PvE arc enemies. One of the better things about the Pharaoh, however, is how cheap it is to upgrade it. And in arc raiders, upgrading makes a huge difference. So for example, you see right here that I can craft this weapon, right? Now let's take a look at the upgrade. You only need 7 metal parts to take it to level 2, which is very cheap. You're gonna be getting metal parts everywhere. Same goes for simple gun parts. Look at that, boom, just like this. And then to level 4, it only needs 1 mechanical component, guys. Only 1. Usually other weapons, for example, even the Stitcher, which is another gray weapon, we're going to talk about it here in a second, it takes 3 or 4. Now I have a level 4 Pharaoh, which is going to be really effective against PvE enemies, and it's also very good in PvP. Now the Stitcher is an absolute beast when it comes to PvP, and even though it might not feel good at level 1, trust me, level 3, level 4, it absolutely deletes people. It is actually very close to the one and only Bobcat, which is an incredible weapon and an S tier weapon in my opinion when it comes to PvP. Now, as I mentioned, I am max level, but how do you get there fast, and what are the things that I wish I knew when I started, right? Now, the main thing you want to know is that experience in this game comes from everything. Literally whatever it is. If you're looting something, if you find a raider body on the ground, or if you're looting some shelves, it doesn't matter. All you gotta do is always click on them, okay? That's what it is. Just tap them real quick and get out. You're gonna be getting tons of XP this way. And by the way, it doesn't even matter if somebody did it before you. Let's say there's something to breach and your teammate does the breaching. After, even if he loots everything, run up to that thing and just do it as well. Even if there's nothing in there, you will still be getting XP, and it's not shared between teammates. So whatever they do, you need to repeat the action to also get the XP. That will tremendously speed up your leveling experience across the board. Now, I quickly want to talk about the gadgets. And a lot of people do not use gadgets. A lot of people just sit on it. Do not do that, right? Like if you have some jolt mines, bring it into the game. Use it to keep you safe from some PvP encounters. If you have zips, bring it with you as well. It's one of the best tools when it comes to positioning. Smoke grenades are gonna save your life a lot of the times if you use it on extraction or even against arc enemies. It keeps you really, really safe. The heavy fuse grenades are incredible in PvP, and the door blocker can be a game changer. Let's say you're getting chased, you close the door, boom, you slap this on. Now you can get away because people have to start breaching that door. The point is, do not make the mistake of sitting on these items and keeping them safe and being like, oh, I don't want to lose it. Guys, there's a lot of loot in the world. use them up. It's going to make the overall experience of the game so much better. And one more thing is that you need to learn how these items perform, because if you don't, your enemies that will have more information about the game. So if you're using these items, you know how they perform. Now when somebody's using them against you, you don't panic. You have all the information you need. Let's talk about the traders, because this is also something that you should not be skipping. So Celeste will give you the ability to use your assorted seeds, which you're going to be finding around the world, to trade it for some of the items. Now the traders are on a daily reset. So for example, every day you should be coming in here and spending your assorted seeds to pick up items all the time. You have some purple items here as well, such as the Exodus modules and the complex gun parts, which you need for crafting. So depending on what you're gonna need for what item while you're crafting, always check Celeste and trade in your assorted seeds. You can even trade them in 1-for-1 for some of the most important parts, the basic materials, which is the metal parts. For example, if you're running out of metal parts for your weapon crafting or your upgrades, you can come to Celeste and trade them in. It is a very powerful tool to keep your material economy locked in. Speaking of materials, I also want to mention the one and only Scrappy. Try to level up Scrappy as fast as possible, because Scrappy will be giving you a lot of these materials that you can see essentially for free, including the assorted seeds. For you to level Scrappy, you're going to need a lot of fruits. The way you get these fruits, guys, is you need to look for the right event at the right times. And in order to make all of this much easier, you're going to go to metaforge.app/arcraders. I'm going to drop this link in the description as well. And essentially right here on the right side, you will see the Harvester event, the Night Raid, the Launch Tower loot, Husk Graveyard. All of these are active events, right? But you also have upcoming events. And one of them, for example, is Lush Blooms on Buried City in 2 hours and 48 minutes. So this way, you will know when to be ready for this event. You hop in and you have a way higher chance at finding the fruits and making this whole process much easier for yourself. Okay, so this website is huge, by the way, across the board. So for example, right here you can see there's also the maps, so you can take a look at all of the maps. So you can see all the special locations of supply call stations, and let's say the player spawns. Everything is here, right? So make sure to utilize this one and take a look at the events as mentioned in order to make your life 10 times easier when it comes to upgrading Scrappy. Now I want to talk about the skill tree, and I'm going to give you guys some of the best skills you should aim for depending on your playstyle and whatnot. Now, what we did as a group was we went different routes to gather as much information about skills as possible, so that, you know, when we reset our accounts in the future, we know what is actually better and not. So from all the information that we've gathered, guys, there are a few skills that are incredibly strong. Number one, if you are a solo player, if you enjoy playing alone or even in groups, to be honest, and if you want to be a true loot goblin, you are gonna go for the security breach. This is at the very end of the red tree, and you're gonna need to spend 36 points in the red tree right here. There's a few other perks that are extremely strong for solo players here. Number one, in-round crafting unlocks the ability to field craft items while topside. Now the security breach itself is incredible, because in the game you will find these locked places that you can only access with this skill, and especially if you use this while it's night raids or any kind of event. And for all the people that don't know, when there's an event on the map, you essentially get way better loot. You will find some purples and a bunch of really good items, great weapons, purple weapons, by using this security breach. So yes, if you're a solo player, this is incredible. On top of that, you also have looter's luck. What this does is this, whatever you're looting, there's a chance to see 2 items right away instead of 1. You know how just 1 loads in? Instead, you're gonna have the ability to see 2 load in at the same time. This is very strong. You also have broad shoulders, which increases the maximum weight you can carry by a total of 10 kg. You also have Traveling Tinker, unlocks additional items to Fieldcraft. So if you are a solo player, honestly, this is awesome. Like this whole tree, the survival tree is really, really good. And you also have Looter's Instincts. When searching a container, loot is revealed faster. So when you combine this with the one and only Looter's Luck, yeah, you're going to be just looting extremely fast. And this is great for PvP as well, because you don't have to sit there for like 30 minutes, right? You check a raider, boom, 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 everything unlocks, you get whatever you need and you get out. This is a game changer tree for sure. Now, if you do want movement, as you guys can see, I went all the way up to Heroic Leap. And this is, you can sprint, dodge, roll further and whatnot. There's a bunch of skills here. The thing is, guys, for the middle tree, the yellow tree, some of these perks, in my opinion, at the moment aren't as effective. Do they make a difference? Yes. Will your roll cost less stamina? Yes, but it's like 10%, 15%. You can utilize this when you combine some different skills. So for example, you combine that with carry the momentum and so on. But overall, I would advise to pick up these two, Youthful Lungs and Marathon Runner, as a new player. And after that, go the red all the way until Security Breach, because I truly believe this is an incredible skill at the moment. Easily one of the best in the game. Now, on the left side, on the green side, you do have a perk that I really am in love with, and that is Loaded Arms. Now, what this does is essentially, if you're carrying two heavy weapons, right? Let's say you're carrying weapons, one is like 12 kg and the other is 13 kg. That is a total of 25 kg. However, if you have Loaded Arms, that cuts it directly in half. So essentially, out of those two weapons, one of them you're carrying for free. And that's awesome if you're a loot goblin as well. So yeah, there's quite a few things you can do here. So what I would do is go for the Security Breach as a solo player, also pick up Youthful Lungs, Marathon Runner, and then make my way to Loaded Arms as well. This would be the perfect loot goblin solo build in the game. No doubt about it. And by the way, if you're a new player and if you have any kind of questions about the game, make sure to hop into the streams as well. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch, and I would love to see you guys there. You can ask anything. We have a very chill community. We always have a good time. We complete some of the toughest tasks live on stream as well, such as killing the Queen solo. We PvP a lot as well. I'm also going to be helping my viewers complete some of the toughest challenges in the game. Okay, that's it for this one. Make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, thank you so much for all the love and support. More and more videos are on the way, so stay tuned for that. As always, stay positive, stay disciplined, and I'll see you all on the next one.